Big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat.
The internet is in chaos after 50 Cent allegedly dropped a massive bombshell aimed at Jay-Z, hinting at the existence of leaked intimate footage that could shake the foundation of Hov's carefully protected image. In a cryptic Instagram post that's already gone viral, 50 wrote, "Told y'all the throne was built on secrets, and they're about to come out." Sources close to the situation claim 50 is referencing rumored tapes involving Jay-Z in compromising situations with other men. Footage that has allegedly circulated behind closed doors in industry circles for years.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
While no verified clips have surfaced publicly, 50's post has reignited long-standing whispers about the Roc Nation mogul's private life and power moves used to keep damaging narratives buried. Social media is exploding with speculation, with fans demanding proof and others defending Jay-Z, calling the entire situation a calculated smear campaign. Jay-Z has not commented, and his legal team is reportedly on high alert. With 50 Cent known for exposing secrets with surgical precision, many wonder if this is just the beginning. Whether it's personal revenge, a power play, or something deeper, 50's post has cracked open a door that might not be so easy to close. Recent revelations have stirred serious conversation around Jay-Z's public image and personal identity, and they came from none other than 50 Cent during a wide-ranging interview on Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Like you call them Decepticons.
Right.
That's what you call them. It's real adaptive.
Cites into Jay-Z's inspiration and personal expression, noting that his signature look and persona draw heavily from the late artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. According to 50, Jay-Z's fashion choices and overall aura are deeply connected to Basquiat's style, something that's been overlooked or misunderstood by much of the public. For context, Jean-Michel Basquiat was a groundbreaking painter whose work in the 1980s redefined art through themes of racial tension, class struggles, and complex identity. He wasn't just a painter, he was a cultural disruptor who used his art to challenge systems and spark deeper conversation. Now, what makes this revelation particularly striking is the way 50 framed it, not as a criticism, but as a breakdown of how Jay-Z channels Basquiat's essence, including his artistic flair, symbolic messaging, and even his gestures. While this connection might not have raised eyebrows on its own, it's the broader implications of that comparison that are making headlines. Because 50 Cent also hinted that this Basquiat-inspired influence might signal something more layered about Jay-Z's personal orientation, something that has long been speculated but never directly addressed. With this new lens, fans and critics alike are revisiting Jay-Z's legacy, style, evolution, and the deeper meanings behind his public persona. More context is needed to understand whether this was 50 Cent speculating, joking, or subtly confirming long-standing industry rumors. But what's clear is that the association with Basquiat isn't just about fashion. It could be signaling something far more nuanced. Despite suggestions that 50 Cent's recent remarks were motivated by frustration over being left out of last year's Super Bowl halftime show, his claims about Jay-Z channeling Basquiat may not be as far-fetched as some assume. In fact, Jay-Z himself has made it known on multiple occasions that he draws inspiration from the late neo-expressionist artist, not just in appearance, but in ideology and presentation. Jay-Z's admiration for Basquiat extends well beyond adopting the artist's iconic hairstyle. The connection goes deep. In his 2013 track Picasso Baby from the Magna Carta Holy Grail album, Jay-Z directly references Jean-Michel Basquiat, rapping, "I'm the new Jean-Michel." It wasn't a passing reference either. Multiple lines in the song and across the album allude to Basquiat's legacy. Even Jay-Z's collaborators seem to embrace that connection. Frank Ocean, who featured on the same album, sang the line, "I hope my black skin don't dirt this white tuxedo before the Basquiat show," reinforcing the recurring influence Basquiat has had on Jay-Z's visual and lyrical artistry. But this brings up a deeper question. Just how far does Jay-Z's identification with Basquiat extend? Some have speculated whether Jay-Z might also be aligning with more personal aspects of Basquiat's life, namely, his rumored bisexuality. While Jay-Z has never made any public statements on that subject, 50 Cent recently implied that Jay might be leaning in that direction. Adding to the speculation, comedian and commentator Corey Holcomb has gone further, claiming publicly that Jay-Z is, in his words, actually gay. These are serious allegations, and while no confirmations have surfaced, the conversation around Jay-Z's layered artistic identity continues to raise eyebrows. In a culture where image, symbolism, and personal branding often intersect, it's unclear where homage ends and deeper meaning begins. But the dialogue about Jay-Z's connection to Basquiat has now expanded into uncharted territory. A well-known American comedian recently referenced Jay-Z during a podcast episode that focused on the presence of LGBTQ+ individuals in the entertainment industry. The mention sparked a renewed debate and speculation surrounding Jay-Z's identity and influence. While the validity of such claims remains entirely unconfirmed, the discussion is now broadened to include those closest to him, particularly his spouse. If the allegations surrounding Jay-Z's emulation of Basquiat are true, questions naturally arise about whether his spouse is complicit or simply supportive. Public actions strongly suggest the latter. For instance, on Jay-Z's birthday, he received a $35 million Basquiat painting as a gift, an extraordinary gesture that underscores both artistic appreciation and unwavering support. This wasn't a singular event either. The admiration for Basquiat's legacy appears mutual and deliberate, demonstrated repeatedly in high-profile settings. In 2021, luxury brand Tiffany Company launched a campaign themed around love, which prominently featured the couple posed before an original Basquiat painting titled "Equals Pie." The ad generated attention not only for the rare art inclusion, but also for the stylized presentation. One figure appeared in a gown with a black diamond necklace, a nod to Audrey Hepburn's iconic look in Breakfast at Tiffany's. The other wore attire intentionally styled to echo Basquiat's 1985 New York Magazine cover ensemble. Although the campaign stirred some controversy, particularly about whether Basquiat's work should be commercialized in such a way, it reinforced the deep aesthetic and symbolic ties between Jay-Z's brand and Basquiat's enduring legacy. Basquiat's influence on hip-hop culture is undeniable. His blend of raw expression, political commentary, and abstract presentation resonates across generations. Whether through lyrics, visual fashion, or personal gestures, Jay-Z continues to channel that legacy, cementing Basquiat's role not only in the fine art world, but as a foundational figure within modern hip-hop iconography. Numerous hip-hop artists have cited Jean-Michel Basquiat as a profound source of inspiration, with his artistic legacy continuing to influence creators across multiple genres. His visual language and thematic boldness resonate deeply, especially within the hip-hop world, where issues of identity, resistance, and self-expression are central. In the midst of this cultural reverence, recent comments from 50 Cent have stirred debate. During a recent interview, he suggested that Jay-Z is attempting to imitate Basquiat, pointing to stylistic similarities and aesthetic choices that echo the late artist. The remarks triggered a wave of responses from fans and industry observers, many of whom offered contrasting perspectives. Some supporters of the claim noted striking parallels between Jay-Z's evolving public image and Basquiat's signature style, including fashion, hair, and thematic messaging. One fan wrote online, "I've always thought Jay-Z was trying to be like Bass. There are clear similarities. It's not a bad thing. It shows how much Basquiat shaped the culture." Others, however, strongly disagreed with 50 Cent's position. One post read, "Jay-Z's style has changed significantly over the years. He's always been intentional with his image. Being influenced by Basquiat doesn't mean he's copying him." While opinions vary, the broader consensus seems to accept that Basquiat's reach within the cultural fabric of hip-hop is enormous. His imagery, social commentary, and fearless creativity helped set a new tone for how artists across disciplines express themselves. Whether through direct homage or subtle influence, Basquiat remains a touchstone in shaping the artistic identities of countless musicians. Jay-Z's alignment with Basquiat may simply represent an appreciation for the artist's trailblazing spirit rather than an attempt to replicate it. In a genre built on innovation and homage, distinguishing inspiration from imitation remains a nuanced discussion. A moment that stirred major reaction across the entertainment industry came during Lil Nas X's BET Awards performance, where he concluded his set with a bold and symbolic kiss with a male backup dancer. The gesture was widely discussed online, sparking conversations about representation, visibility, and the evolving dynamics within the hip-hop and entertainment community. Social media quickly lit up with thousands reacting to the unapologetic display of LGBTQ+ pride on a stage that has traditionally reflected more conservative imagery. Some praised the moment as a milestone for inclusivity and freedom of expression in music, while others criticized it, exposing the deep divide still present in parts of the culture. Among the flood of reactions, many supporters emphasized how important it was to see queer identity represented in such a prominent space, especially within a genre where heteronormative narratives have historically dominated. Others, however, resorted to mocking tweets or dismissive comments, reflecting the ongoing resistance to full acceptance in mainstream music spaces. Despite the backlash, industry insiders and cultural commentators recognized the performance as a turning point for queer visibility in hip-hop. It sent a message that authenticity is growing stronger, even in spaces where it was once denied. With more artists pushing past long-held boundaries, the genre continues evolving, challenging not just sound, but also societal perceptions tied to identity. Over the past decade, conversations around identity and masculinity in hip-hop have shifted dramatically. What was once a genre deeply rooted in hyper-masculine archetypes is now evolving, with artists and fans alike engaging in deeper, more nuanced discussions about image, sexuality, and authenticity. These cultural shifts are causing ripple effects across the industry, raising questions about how much of today's artistic direction is rooted in genuine evolution, and how much may be shaped by calculated positioning or symbolic associations. Figures like Jean-Michel Basquiat have continued to serve as influential touchstones, representing more than just artistic style. They also symbolize defiance, complexity, and a refusal to conform to expectations. For some artists, embodying that kind of spirit may be more than aesthetic. It might reflect a personal statement, a deeper alignment with values often left unspoken in mainstream narratives. As the hip-hop world becomes more inclusive, it's also becoming more scrutinized. Every gesture, song, or collaboration gets dissected, interpreted, and spun across digital platforms, often leading to speculation about the motives or identities behind the music. Whether these shifts are sincere expressions of solidarity or simply reflections of changing public sentiment remains open to interpretation. Ultimately, as artists continue redefining their lanes, the industry and its audiences must also be willing to redefine what strength, legacy, and authenticity look like. Whether someone is paying homage, making space for representation, or simply evolving with time, hip-hop is no longer confined by the narrow limits of yesterday. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates from across music and culture.